Greetings to everyone who is watching. Today, at the year end, some closing remarks about tendencies in foreign investment from our perspective in this passing year 2024. The story in three short parts. First, we'll indicate how we see it, where this investment is coming from, for what reason, and how it's happening, and how people are finding us more and more on Google and YouTube, which is why we're doing this video. The second part is we'll highlight some challenges that we have seen that foreign investors face, but something that we manage. And finally, we will present some conclusions and basically the gist of this video, that our job is to guide you through the process for smoother, so to speak. So now turning to the first item, where the investment is coming from. What I've seen is that usually we see some interest from Germany. People are buying some real estate, settling in. We've seen interest from France for tax reasons. People are exploring possibilities to retire in Latvia, maybe construct some factories here. We've also seen some interest from the nationals of Great Britain, trying to settle in Latvia, invest in real estate and maybe in business. And what we see increasingly more and more, people are finding us on Google and watch our videos on YouTube. And this is, as I said, this is why we're doing it. A comment from you, Andre, maybe?
Yeah, and I think that ever-changing environment of social media and artificial intelligence is actually something that brings clients and attorneys and other service providers closer together more directly, and there's no longer need for third-party intermediaries. And so this is something that that is sort of a driving force in getting the connections established with the clients or finding proper professionals. And I would like to also say that the reason why people are trying to find what the Latvia has to offer is that people actually are looking for benefits, what is beneficial for them. And in that part, Latvia offers quite competitive tax rates and other opportunities which foreign companies and foreign individuals are willing to explore.
Right. So turning to the next item, challenges that we have seen, but something that we have learned how to manage. Well, the first thing we see that paper and electronic signatures. And our suggestion, definitely try to use electronic signatures. Is that the case, Andres?
It is 100% the case. And it's actually also quite easily to be explained. It saves money. Even if the solutions available abroad cost something, these costs would be nothing compared to trying to get the documents in paper, or in some cases, you would have to come to Latvia in person, which means travel costs, accommodation costs, and there's also these things that the electronic signatures are accepted instead of signatures which are certified by notary publics, which is also something that adds up to general costs. So it's efficiency, and it's also saves a lot of money. And this is something that we recommend to all our clients, and all our clients actually are very grateful and use this option because it saves them money and time.
We've seen some hiccups at the commercial register. Usually they're still trying to find some dots and commas where they find some irregularity. This is nothing that we can't overcome. It's just that it's still there, isn't it, from time to time?
Indeed, and the sort of the troubling part is it's sometimes things that are, well, you would not expect that to be an issue, because it's a matter of interpretation. For example, how to properly write a company number, a German company, and In Germany, there are several ways how it is indicated the documents, and you might follow one, but Latvian authorities might decide that you should actually do something else and add some to put it extra letters that are in some other version, which is available online. And the same goes for some minor translations. For example, if you accidentally sign documents and add, for example, date, but somehow you decide to write a date, a month in not in letter numbers, but spell it out, then you might be faced with an issue that it's that the Latvian authorities say that this is not a document in the language that they accept, and then you basically have to translate this one word, which is maybe a few letters different from Latvian syntax. But so in all, it's some things that will well, you would not expect. And again, this comes back to this previous issue about electronic signatures. If you use them, this is something that can be remedied quite quickly and fast, and there are no major issues there. But if you would go traditional document routes for some
Paper
time,
form.
yes, then it could take several weeks, cost like hundreds extra euros just to settle this small issue, which is from legal point of view not even an issue. It's just.
But anyway, all it means is they can delay the process, but we can still overcome it.
Yes.
Any news about opening bank accounts in Latvia? This was a huge issue over the last few years. The Latvian central bank is saying everything is normalizing, so to speak. Just last week, I had to buy some stuff from a Latvian company. I still transferred money to their bank account in Lithuania, but the Latvian bank is saying now things are getting into order. Have you heard something about that? Any experience?
Well, I would say that this is the claim that has been publicly made. At the same time, there are still a lot of companies which have either been forced to leave Latvian banking sector beforehand, or are simply deciding to go to the foreign banking straight away. So, in a sense, maybe this issue is overcome in some sense, that the companies and even private individuals have found a way to survive. The problem is that the reputation that Latvia got in previous years, it's quite hard to.
It doesn't change overnight.
Yes, to turn back the tide. So we have seen some positive examples for at least initial steps opening a bank account, where we did not expect things to go so smoothly. But all in all, this is something that is still on a case by case and probably trial, that you could still run in some issues.
A few words about ultimate beneficial owners at the commercial register, something that people abroad do not understand when I'm raising it. Namely, the Latvian state-of-the-art system where all the ultimate beneficial owners are publicly known and declared to everyone, not just the authorities, but to the whole world. And then the judgment came from the Court of Justice of the European Union. This is not entirely fine. The Latvian government said we would think about it, whether we would restrict this publicly available information. Have they done something? Have you heard something?
Well, they have thought about it and came to a conclusion that nothing needs to be changed.
Right.
And the idea is that this transparency fuels general trust, and everybody should have the general access to this information.
Yeah, but the difficulty is that I'm getting feedback from foreign clients and they're getting suspicious. They say, this is not normal. This is not normal. I don't want to strip down in front of the whole world. What about protection of my rights and my personal, privacy and stuff like that? So this is something we have to explain to clients that, well, yes, unfortunately, banks will want to know it. The commercial register would want to know it. It's just the way it is. This is not something that we have invented.
Yes, indeed. And the thing is that you should be prepared that when coming to Latvia, banks, register of enterprises, even lawyers are required by the law to ask you so many questions and to get the supporting documentation that you are not really accustomed to actually dealing back home.
Yes.
And this is something that is an issue and it needs to be explained. And in
Yes.
general, you are correct that this is not the generally accepted practice throughout the whole world. And there are, as you mentioned, there are decisions and judgments which says that this is infringing on right of privacy, and this should be limited. And there are countries where this information is not publicly available. And but yes, this is Latvia,
Yeah.
and this is something that you should be ready to deal with.
Some final words about protection of minority shareholders in courts. We've been doing it for 20 years, and we've had some extremely excellent results. We've been to the Supreme Court for 3 times, and we've got now established case law. Unfortunately, it doesn't always help us, but we see it being used by other people, which is good news. But well, this is not America, where you can be bought out, where you can actually force your opponent to buy you out, only in specific circumstances. But I would say it's getting better. Not quite there yet, but this is something people should be prepared for. If there are minority shareholders in Latvia, can get bumpy, wouldn't you say?
Unfortunately, that is still the case. And as you have mentioned, um, there are positive examples, and we have seen the cases where our fights throughout the years have yielded positive results for other minority shareholders. But in this particular case where we fought, and then pretty much the same minority shareholder and the same company, in the next case, we pretty much start from the scratch and still have to prove and fight over things that we believe to be argued and settled. But it's still an issue of contention, and unfortunately, well, it's still an issue that needs to be litigated and fought for. And yes, so I would say it's getting better, but there's still a lot of ways and how the situation can be improved, and how the interests and legitimate interests of minority shareholders could be protected in Latvia.
Right. So now, in conclusion, a few minutes about our conclusions that we've had this year and our involvement. So the ultimate message that we want to send through using this video is that we are there for ensuring a smoother ride. So that the whole process is much smoother than just doing it solo, so to speak, alone. We know these things. We've been doing them for 20 years. We know where to guide you, how to direct you to banks which have been reasonable in the past. We know these practicalities about emails. We know these practicalities about the commercial register, about litigation, basically anything you need to establish your corporate presence in Latvia, and how it works, even to some daily issues like registering your cars, especially electric vehicles. We can alert you to the fact that recently the Riga City Council has changed their mind that in the future, apparently, if foreign registration electronic vehicles will no longer be able to park free of charge, as opposed to Latvians. This is something you won't find in law. We can remind you that you need to find a good accountant. You need to check your email that you give to the authorities, because you can miss a lot of important information, then get into trouble. So it's worth coming to see us. It's worth listening to what we suggest. Any last words, Andre, before we wish Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone who's watching?
Yes, I would just like to add there is a rather good chance that at some point in your dealings with the Latvian institutions, or in general doing something in Latvia, you will run into some issues, unexpected ones. But as Daimars already said, the good thing is that they are all things that can be dealt with, and this is where our assistance might come in handy, because if you do it in a sophisticated way, then it's something that can be dealt with rather easily, without major delays to your goals, and without running a large amount of expenses to solve these issues. So that would be something that we would recommend, is to get a proper assistance in your dealings.
And on this note, I think we can wish to everyone Merry Christmas, a very prosperous and peaceful Happy New Year. Thank you for watching. Until next time.